Yo, what's happening, everybody? It's Chase. So we will get into this video today. We're going to talk Bitcoin. We're going to talk Ethereum. Okay, as usual, shout out to PrimeXBT for sponsoring these videos. You check out my links at the bottom. No KYC exchange. You get a deposit bonus. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Okay, right into it. I have some stuff pre-marked out here. We'll explore some thoughts and ideas. Before I say anything, I'm always, I try to be transparent with you guys as possible, right? These charts are a little odd looking to me. I just did a long talk through with myself about the charts, right? I've said this before, but it's probably might be new for some of you. When I feel like I'm sort of lost on the chart, and I mean, my last couple trades were wins, but I still feel like the chart just looks weird to me. I don't feel very familiar with it. It's not a familiar feeling. That's what sort of leads me to think that we may see all-time highs sooner than later, but we'll get into that too. But point being is I try to tell myself the story of the chart, right? So I'll go through that a little bit with you right now. We're not going to do the full thing. That obviously takes a bit more time. But just as I was talking through it with myself, I was thinking, well, we had the whole COVID crash, right? Beginning of the bull market, or the new bull market, so to say. Sort of put in the top here these lows that were constantly accumulated, okay? We'll get back to that soon. So these lows were accumulated. We broke up above. These levels were flipped to support, right here, basically support. Put in a high, a low, higher low, higher high, lower low, okay, break in market structure right here, right? So this is when we know when it comes back up, this is typically the previous supply trade that you take. So obviously that was a perfect short right there. I honestly can't remember what I took in here or whatnot. I know I sold a good amount in 55K area, but I'm not sure exactly where it was. But obviously that was a clean trade, right? So it also helps you see things in hindsight, of course, right? We're talking hindsight here. Don't want to pretend that I'm not, like I said, I don't remember exactly what I took in here, but don't want to pretend that, oh yeah, I took this, I took that, I took this. But these are easy things to look back in hindsight, right? So break in market structure, we can see the retest of the supply level right here, and rejection, huge rejection, obviously. So we have this major breakdown, and then once again we have accumulation on this level. So this level was always an accumulation level. If this level was ever to break, probably fucked, to be honest. I think this is probably your quote-unquote, I wouldn't say generational low, right? I don't really like to speak like that, but I think for the time being, this should be the low for any upcoming, 6 months, year, so to say. 1 second. Yeah, so you have this, huge accumulation here, right? You had this downtrend. Once you broke the downtrend once again, pretty obvious long here, right? You have consolidation, major downtrend. You break above this retest previous here, right? So you have this level that was previously resistance. You sort of get that little flip right in there. That was obviously a buy level to hold that long. Now we're seeing once again a rally. We had a supply level here. We also have like a 3-day supply in here, which I'm watching. But I think that since we breached this level right here, that most likely, and this is my plan, this is where we get to the plans, right? I'm just comfy, sort of holding my spot at the moment, but what I think is that we head towards 59.5-ish, and then I think at 59.5, I think this is could be the last buy opportunity, is that we sweep whatever consolidation had developed in here into this area here, and that's probably your buy. If you want quote-unquote confirmation, let it sweep the low, right? Let it sweep the low and then let it reclaim and then stop. Simply, this is your entry, right? And that's your stop right below wherever the low was that sweep this, okay? And I think that's the long you hold until, I don't know, 75, 80,000, something like that. That's what it seems like to me at the moment. Yeah, so that's the trade that I'm looking for on Bitcoin. I'll be looking for the Probably moving upwards towards here, some type of a shakeout sweep as everyone gets extremely euphoric. And we're going to talk about that too, sort of how to, that'll be our discussion for the day, is sort of how to manage emotions and news and whatnot that's going to be coming your way as all this happens. So I think we get that sweep eventually. Buying blind potentially, waiting for confirmation potentially, doing a 50-50, okay? So you do 50% entry here, you do 50% on confirmation, right? Like, the point being is, a lot of people say, oh, well, how do you know exactly when to get in? I don't. Sometimes I buy the level blind. Sometimes I try to wait for the confirmation. Sometimes I try to wait for the confirmation and I get left behind. Sometimes I split it 50-50. Like, it really just all depends on the specific scenario, and it's really impossible to say exactly what happens and how it develops. We could literally consolidate here for, who knows, maybe the market calms down and we start to consolidate. I don't think this is going to happen, but pretend it does. Then all of a sudden I'm a little more questionable about how deep this could potentially dig. Okay, so you got to think that it's not a set strategy every single time. And if you're really having a hard time figuring that out, I highly recommend that 50-50 thing. 50% in on the level, 50% as a confirmation play, something of that nature. Okay, so once again, last time here, we'll just mark it out. Let's mark out the potential low, right? Potential this low right here. Maybe another low develops. We'll see. Eventual push to 59. Push into this level. This is a buy most likely, or a confirmation buy here, one or the other, or a 50-50. Said it 10 times now. And then I think that's the hold to new all-time highs. I think above here is mostly air, right? I think if we happen to do this, watch out for a quick little shakeout maybe, and then probably goes as well. That's what I have for Bitcoin. Okay, we'll move forward to ETH here. Okay, so Ethereum. I did the same thing with Ethereum. Told myself a little story, okay? And honestly, ETH is quite weird too. Like I said, these charts are just not what I'm used to, and that gives me the idea that we may be entering some type of a new phase, so to say, or new territory, which would potentially be new all-time highs. So, you just get that vibe, right? I don't want to get people like super. It doesn't mean you put the house on long or anything. We keep trading the same way we're trading. We keep the risk under control and all that whatnot. But just the way I'm feeling at the moment. Okay, so big euphoric rally, big blow off top, downward consolidation, just like BTC, right? Accumulation. Flip this level. This is where things get interesting, right? We flip this resistance level to support. It proves as support here. It was resistance here, support here again. Okay. What happens in here? Like, what happens there? Well, in my opinion, what happens here is what we're looking for is a shakeout. This is where your big players were waiting, right? We can't really see the volume here because of my old theme, but reset. Yeah, you still can't see it for shit. Whatever. So there is like a little volume jump in here. If you look really close, you can see this volume is pushing up to here, whereas previously it was sort of down here. So what I think is happening in here was that you were getting a lot of weak hands selling off in here into whale hands, and that was your shakeout. Just because it was it fucked the technicals, so to say. This level should not have been pierced. This was your SR flip, right? This was your resistance, support. It had proven its support all the time, and then we just chopped on the level, and probably a lot of people were like, oh, daily close below the level, I'm out. Chopped, okay? And you just keep wicking, right? If you keep wicking, that means someone's typically buying it up. So it got wicked, and then once it reclaimed, just the buying overpowered the selling, and you just powered through. Now, where did we last overpower, right? You had to take a look, and we could see that we had downtrend, somewhat type pennant, right? And the last place we overpowered of resistance was this area right here. So if we were to see that same type of action from Bitcoin and we were eventually to sweep this area, this is your buy. Okay, 3152-ish, I'll be looking to buy there and holding till at least, you know, I chop some here, right? I chop some around 4.1, and I probably hold some for longer term, potentially new all-time highs. Okay, and that's mostly the play on ETH. I don't really see a scenario where we're running any type of lows, right? Like even if I wanted to be a bear somehow, I don't see how we get back down to here. If we did sweep that, obviously, once again, you know, bullish, right? It's weird though, right? Because I don't think we should go back down there. But if you did sweep this level for some reason, you know, maybe in the future, maybe we do this, and maybe, you know, we do the sweep of the low, we reclaim, we go for this, but we fail, we come back down. You know, it supports again, it flips to resistance. Okay, you come down, you sweep this. Okay, then you go for your all-time highs. Okay, so that's a play too, but obviously that's way down the line, right? Hold on. That type of stuff is way down the line, but I guess it's just good to get it out there, just to throw a thought process behind it. Okay. Yeah, this was the shakeout, right? And in my opinion, when you see shit like this, like where you know that, in my opinion, like you know that it was bad intentions, and it was like it was manufactured to shake out, so to say. And that's what makes me think that, you know, coming soon is new all-time highs, because I think the bags are loaded. Maybe, like I said, maybe you get another shakeout somehow. Maybe you run this high. Maybe you run this high, you get another shakeout. They rebuy again here, and then it goes something like that. 3152. That's definitely my level that I'll be watching. That's my buy level. Okay. Yeah, and that's how I see it. Okay, so now let's talk about how to deal with the potential upcoming euphoria and stuff. And you know, this is something I covered in my portfolio management video as we were moving upwards. You know, you'll probably think, oh well, you know, Chase, you said you sold a good amount at 55K. You said you sold a good amount at 3850 to 4.2K or whatever it was, you know, average exit like 3.9K. And yeah, I did. But the thing is, I'm not I don't regret that. You know, if we go to 80K, this isn't a regret, because this is, you know, this was months and months of comfort, right? It all depends at where you're at in life, right? So it's been you know, more than half a year since, you know, this previous sell. And that would have been all that time where I would have been like, man, I had 55K, I had 60K in my grasps, and I just let it go. Now I don't know, are we going to break down to 24? Are we going to break down to 18? Like, that type of stuff would have been on my mind. I think that's on most people's minds, unless you're like, you know, a multi-millionaire, to where you're pretty set for most of your life. You know, doing my best to get there, right? But not there yet. And I think that it's important to take profit when the profit is available to you. So that's one of my biggest things, is that do not let right when it goes to all-time highs, all you're going to hear is about how, oh, all of a sudden Bank of America is buying Bitcoin. Oh, Elon Musk is buying Bitcoin again. You know, all of a sudden everyone's doing everything. It's all about Bitcoin. It's all about ETH. The whole world is changing. Blah, blah, fucking blah. And then when the nuke finally comes, right, it's all good and fun in here. And when the nuke finally comes down here, crypto's a scam. It's going to zero. The banks no longer want to be a part of it. The banks are closing accounts that involve crypto. The whole fucking thing is a scam, right? And I know a lot of people, you know, especially in crypto, and a lot of just new age people in general, don't trust the media that much. And if you're not going to trust them, for one thing, definitely don't fucking trust them for your crypto news and all that shit either. I don't want to say it's like intentionally malicious to distribute on people's heads, but it's just what gets clicks. And if they're talking about Bitcoin all-time highs and they're posting bullish shit about it, they're going to get more clicks, they're going to get more interest, because everyone wants to psychologically support their own bag in their head. You're not going to be, if Bitcoin is ripping at 65,000, 70,000, you don't want to read about FUD and shit. You want to read about why it's going to 100,000. You want to read about why it's going to 500,000. And that's why those articles are going to have names like that, and those things are going to influence your decision making, and that's what you can't allow to happen. Okay, one second. Cannot allow the media titles and the feed and everything else to fuck up your plans. If you have plans to sell some around 80,000, and then sell some more around 90,000, and sell some more around 100,000, and then say, you had now sold, let's say 50% of your total holdings, and you're going to let the other 50% ride for maybe a couple years from now. Maybe you think in a couple years it gets to 250,000 or something. So be it. But make sure you stick to your plan. Don't let other people influence your plan, because it's all for clicks, media, engagement, fucking paid advertisement. The whole thing is just a big fucking scam thing to get you to not follow your plan. And the funny thing is that the goal is not their goal. Let's put they in quotes. Their goal is not for you to not follow your plan, but you not following your plan is a byproduct of how crazy things get. And you have to be 100% prepared for that ahead of time to know that things will get crazy, but you got to have a fucking iron trap in between your head, and you got to stick to your plans. Whatever your plans are going to be, stick to them. And that's it. That's the most important thing. And remember where you are in life. If you fucking need, if you got problems paying your house payment, if you got problems paying your bills, if you got a kid that's going to school, if you can't afford fucking groceries and you have a Bitcoin and it's $80,000, it might be time to take some profit, okay? Stop. Don't aim for the home run, because you end up striking out, and you'll look back and you said, fuck, I could have had $80,000 towards whatever, whether it be your house or your family or whatever the fuck the 80 is for. You could have had that money, and you let it all slip away because you thought, all of a sudden people started talking about how it was going to $1 million. And maybe it does. Maybe it does, right? So keep a 20% moon bag. Keep a 30% moon bag. Cool, you can keep some. Always keep some. But don't divert from your plan, and don't forget about where you are in life. If you need some fucking money, take some profits. Don't be greedy. And that's it. I wish you all the best. And shout out to Prime XBT for sponsoring these videos. Any retweet, constructive criticism in general, feedback, happy feedback, all of it's good. Appreciate you guys very much, and I'll talk to you next week. Peace out.